you know, I always focus on the contrast in between differences, because the rhetoric is going to keep you here, right? Everything else that you're dealing with is meant to scar you in a certain way. It's meant to hit you, make you feel some type of way. And the more you fight against these things, the more you're fighting the same process that is holding you here. You know what I'm saying? No, I said that wrong. The more you fight against these things, the more you're giving into the process that's holding you here. It's almost like saying, I'm going to do it because that's what I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it explains itself. So that if I told you the simple way was to learn in every circumstance you be in, not to feel nothing. Not to say you don't feel it. Not to be cold-hearted. See, it's a contrast to that. It's to say, know that it's happening, but don't let it affect you. And people are like, no, you can't do these things. Like, I hear so many people say what you can't do, right? And what it always goes back to for me is, how can you say what divine can't do? Like, if I'm having a human experience for whatever value that is, maybe down to the level of even reciprocating an energy level that divine cannot stand in because of his omnipotence. Then it wouldn't be imperative for me to feel like it's no experience that I can deal with. It's an ebb and flow of life. How selfish could I be not to want to try everything? At least once. So even when things are coming at you in certain ways, you might have handled these some of these circumstances a whole one way in your life. And you said your whole life, I will never, ever, ever, because I will never be. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. But when you give in to these things, knowing that you're being guided through whatever you're going through, you get stronger. You get stronger in a way that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? You want to have faith, but yet you don't want to walk blindly. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. This speaks to the same value when I was like, people want that same unconditional love, but you don't want to give that unconditional love. And see, these dynamics are even facing the value of the inadmissible connection or the reciprocity to an energy, subsequently keeps you in that same dynamic in itself. Like, if I was literally trying to be rising up off this value of physicality, I would have to give up all of that. I can notice it and still be in a retrospect, but that vibration that balances off the frequency to allow you to leave here, it's a high frequency, and high frequencies deal with high mentality. That comes with laughter. So that means you got to be happy while witnessing all the pain. Like, can you go down there and be something different while you dealing with all this like it don't matter? Knowing that they purposely going to attack you to say, see, look at what I did. It get deep like that. I spoke fast just now. If you missed what I was saying, go back and listen to it, because I'm pretty sure that it went in unison. But sometimes the way I put it together, just, and I don't want to lose nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, just meditate. Even if you can't comprehend me, it'll come to you. Yeah, but, and it's, if that's where you're trying to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people, they still trying to satisfy the emotions of the shallow connection. So it's like, it's so many connections to connections. Each connection gets you to validate another level of that same connection. So that means it's going to be another hill within that same connection of higher standards that you're subsequently not aware of. But see, when them hills is little, it's like when you a kid and you riding a bike and you jump a easy hill and you land good. You like, yeah, I did that. You feel good. I bet you won't do that on no 50-foot hill. You ain't got the skill for that yet. But it's still a hill though, right? It's that type of point. You know what I'm saying? So right now, people are still getting the gratitude off doing little things. You know what I'm saying? Little connections, little mistakes and all that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to go to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what that is yet. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. It's the same thing, just times 10. You know what I mean? So we might as well go ahead and get the knowledge for what that is. Yeah, we're gonna pause, take a break.
Later.
I honestly remember, right? One time I think I was like, had to be like 9, 10. And we used to ride our bikes and jump hills and stuff like that, jump little ramps or whatever. It was like this little ramp over by the office where we lived at in these little project complex, like a little hill right there you could jump. I remember jumping that. It was mad high up in the air. It came down and bust my knee on it. Like my knee was like, boom. I scarred it, but it didn't break. You know what I'm saying? Like I was higher than the roof, like 9 years old. I used to always be destructive on my body, but I used to do like things nobody never saw. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, why is he flying in the air? This kid is like 8. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember taking the bike, and it was this big hill though. Hill probably is like 10 feet off the ground. But it was higher on the backside. I ride my bike, hit the hill, boom. You're so high up in the air. Like the apartment buildings was 2 floors. You could literally see the roof. You know what I'm saying? You was above the trees. Like everybody looking like, yo, that nigga about to die. Up in the air. Came down. I'm seeing myself come down, and I'm coming down. I'm like, I know if I hold on this bike about to break me up. Cause the bike is heavy. So I'm thinking of the rubber gonna hit the ground and push the bike back at me. I'm low. So I kicked the bike off. And I just kind of opened my arms up like this and kind of soared down, rolled, you know what I'm saying? Let the bike break itself up, bit the rim up and everything. But I knew to do that. And I knew to do it at the right time to where I would glide to the ground as a kid. It was like instinctual. Divine laid us with a whole manuscript of information that allows us to connect to a natural way of living when it comes to being in nature. You know what I'm saying? Knowing what to eat, knowing how to move around certain things, like that was innate for us. You know what I'm saying? And we started getting that transmuted into something more physical and non-natural, which is starting to, it tweaks your energy. It goes, because it's trying to figure out what is it serving if it's not physical. So then your mind starts to tell it, it starts to figure out, it's trying to figure out what is it serving if it's not natural. And your mind tells it, no, it's natural because whatever you feeling towards it, like you transmute that into that. And then the outcome of certain things don't really validate. But then some of us are already analytical so much to the left brain side. It's like you automatically know how to transmute into this non-physical aspect. Well, that's descent. Keep in mind, that's descent. And that's going to allow you to get heavier because of what you're computing. You're computing knowledge of descent. You're trying to go further in what they call the future. You know what I'm saying? Or what they call a so-called future. Well, the only future for you is everything new. Every day is new for you. You know what I'm saying? Every year is a new year. You know what I'm saying? Even though they tell you getting older, you have a new year it's a new year you never experienced. You know what I'm saying? So you're going forward within each birth of a year. You see what I'm saying? And if you think about that, even rising in spirituality, you going, that is your future because you are a spiritual being. So that spiritual aspect is your true connection to reality. It's your true everything. You see what I'm saying? So until you separate from this system of things and stop believing this is your true forward motion and understand that your spiritual connection is your true forward motion, because that's the binding of your physical and the reason why you're here. It's the tether, your spiritual connection. So nothing else outside of that really matters. You have to focus on the physical manifestation of bonding your flesh with the spiritual connection. That's where your future is. That's where your future is, because these decisions that you're doing within the spiritual aspect is going to determine how far you get to your real future, i.e. the understanding of you being trapped here or in a whole nother level. I ain't gonna hold you. NAGA.